Hello, my name is Jasmine Lee, and I am not your mama's astrologer. Welcome to the week, you guys. I love getting to talk to y'all on a week like this week. And it's all happening today, but these transits that are happening, you feel them all week. So my invitation to you is, as I describe the energy, I want you to feel it and embrace it and hone it in all week long. Yay! This is one of the best astrological happenings of 2025. It happened in June also, but it's coming around again, as Carly Simon would say to those who like her. Love that bitch. Anyway, so Venus and Jupiter are conjunct. They are hugging in the sky. It is in Cancer. Jupiter is exalted here. Venus is cozy in Cancer. So it is like all of the sudden, all of this hardship, all of this having to do, all of this growing, all of this summer of pontification comes together, and all of the sudden we are so supported in the sky to find out what really matters. It's not about the traffic jam, the stubbed toe, the broken speaker, the, small things that make life kind of irritating sometimes. This week is a week of gratitude. It's a week of nurturing. It's a week of compassion, to understand each other, to have this flow through that is so mama womb water vibes. And who doesn't want that? We all need a little comfort sometimes. We all need a hand across the forehead, a kiss goodnight, tucking in to bed. We all need that. No matter how old we get, nurturing is always something that we need, whether we have to give it to ourselves or whether it's readily available to us in our surroundings. It is here. It is there for you. As a personal story, my partner and his daughter they left just this very moment. I said goodbye to them, cried a little bit, and then sat down here to talk to you guys. They're gone for a week on a father-daughter road trip, and oh, the sights they'll see and experience and conversations they'll have. And to me, that today is just the most perfect day to start off on a journey that can lead to who knows where. And even if we're not going anywhere, bitch has to stay home with my kids. There is still an idea around being nurtured, being your own nurturer. Like, they will have each other and I will have me. And it is an invitation to lean in, no matter what you're doing, no matter what your circumstances. It is a leaning in moment, because also bitches, Mercury is direct. We are done with that horrible Mercury retrograde that we all fear, we all have to face, and methinks has been a particularly hard one for a lot of us. And I totally understand that. It's been hard for me too. Because it's not just that things have been breaking down, because they have. It's not just because things aren't flowing, because they haven't. It is a Mercury retrograde existential crisis of the soul. I feel like ourselves hasn't been working during this Mercury retrograde. Have you guys felt that? That just like there's something in the cosmos that has felt very limiting in spirit and soul. And now Mercury is direct. And now freaking Venus and Jupiter are kissing in the sky all week long. And now we also have Saturn and Uranus, which are two planets that move very slow. They're making a really beautiful sextile. And when that happens, to me, that is special. It is a special happening because both of these planets move slow. And the idea too is that Saturn is our lesson keeper, and Saturn keeps us on track, and Uranus is like quick, fast, big things happening. So when they're meeting up in the sky in a positive way, it's like, yes, this is the plot twist we have been waiting for. That it's not necessarily all of a sudden you're going to see you're not going to be reaping all of the harvest. All of the sudden there is going to be a harvest to look forward to inside of yourself. So I want us to be softening our eyes and softening our gaze this week. I want us to understand that now that Mercury is direct, Venus and Jupiter are doing this lovely thing, and now Saturn and Uranus are doing this awesome thing, which is change, which is we're ready. Saturn says yes to Uranus moving us, changing us, grooving us. And all we have to do this week, you guys, is dance to the music. All we have to do is say yes more than we say no. And the biggest thing that we have to do, also coming off of a full moon that was Leo Aquarius, is fortify ourselves, is get right with what we are doing, what we are wanting to manifest in this life, and then believe in it and trust it. Believe in yourself and trust the process. And normally I could say that. If I said that during this Mercury retrograde, you would have been like, bitch, no, and shut up and go away, because that isn't the space we were in. But now all of a sudden, when I say trust the process, it lands. It lands different than it would have landed last week or the week prior, because we can only do what we're ready for, and we can only change what we want to change. We say this a lot when we talk about addiction, and when we talk about habits, and when we talk about long-standing old belief systems. It's why in our government, it's why religiously, it's why in all of the constructs that have been here long before us were created, they were these sacred contracts. And a lot of them started out for the good, but as we age, as we change, as we evolve, these old contracts we make in this life are up to change, shift, review. And if we aren't willing to update the contract for ourselves, then we end up feeling stuck in a paradigm that no longer serves us. We get stuck in a thought. We get stuck in a shoulda, coulda, woulda paradigm that is very limiting. And this week, I think the energy is saying it is okay to switch sides. It is okay to see an archaic way of thinking, to update it, to upload something new. So it's a week where all of a sudden that's not going to feel so scary. It's not going to feel so confronting. It's more going to feel like, oh yeah, right. I'm ready to open. I'm ready to move on. And whatever that moving on is for you, it is an old moving on. I was talking to my cousin yesterday a lot about our ancestral wounding and how there are things that we come into this world with that are from our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our great-great-grandparents, and if you believe in reincarnation, from our other selves that stay, that linger, that knock around inside of our rib cages that we can't all the way always understand. Fear of abandonment doesn't necessarily mean that you were abandoned a lot in this life, but maybe all of your ancestral shit revolves around that, or violence, or anger, or there are just these big topics inside of us that live in us that we don't necessarily know how to cope with or know how to root out, because it is that lizard brain. It is our gut check moment. It is our Chiron, our original wound coming to roost. And these things don't change and they don't necessarily heal. But what they do is provide information around why we are so prone to fill in the blank: addiction, laziness, commitment issues, too much commitment, chronic monogamy, anything that comes up for you. This is your homework this week, because there is a goddamn huge cookie at the end of doing this kind of homework. A big one, because it's not a quantifiable cookie. We're not like Libran Amazon shopping and having it next day delivered. No, this is like the big shop. This is what is needed to water my soul stuff. But we can't water the soul if we don't look into this shadow work, this, what did we come into this life with? You know, that term, oh, they came in with a chip on their shoulder. We all did. all of us forever have a giant chip on our shoulder. And really, it's about defining what that chip is and why we use it to hurt ourselves and how we can activate it to heal and launch ourselves into a next iteration. Because this limiting belief, it is like the angel and the devil on your shoulder saying yes and no, and it's dictating shit that isn't even relevant, because maybe this was lifetimes ago that this wound, that this thought process was started genetically inside of our family line or our past lives. There is a residue that hangs over all of us. Even new souls still have the genealogy of resistance. And that's what I really want to talk about this week, the genealogy of resistance, of whatever that stopgap is in you. Because I call it too, like, that's shadow, the resistance, but the high road is the hero's arc. The high road is, this is the thing you came here to overcome or to work with next to you so that you can reach a new level of being. That if you want to be someone who ascends, and in lay terms, if you want to get to the next level, if you want to beat that Mario boss, you have to be willing to face the music. I was just saying the other day that I get really scared of, video games when it's like the boss level and then the music gets like intense and then it feels like time speeds up and then I get like nervous because I don't like to be chased and I don't like to attack. Those are two like words, chasing and attacking, that feel very triggery for me. So even though we're talking about a video game, it's still me. The fact that I don't want to be chased in real life either, but in a video game, or that I don't want to attack in real life or a video game, is interesting information for who I am as a person, because that's true. I don't want to feel that kind of pressure, nor do I want to hurt someone in a way that is sharp like that. And the few times I have in my life are some of the few, not regrets, but thoughtful moments I have where I had wished to have made a different choice. So these are things that come up. It's so silly. We're talking about video games. What? But it is something intrinsic inside of me that is here for review. So if I don't like to be attacked, probably, if I don't like attacking people, probably that means I don't like to be attacked. Why don't I like to be attacked? And like taking that thought deeper, deeper, deeper down to the inner truth that maybe there is a place in my bone structure, in my DNA, that as I was being created, there was attacking, there was abandonment, there was being chased. That feeling of never being able to escape might be years and decades and millennials back in all of this information that exists in my body that gets released from time to time, microdosed in that way that when I play a video game, as simple as that, I'm getting triggered by a very latent part of myself, is what I'm saying. And so your homework is to start digging. Find some of these latent triggers, these things that you're like, another one of mine, since I'm sharing, I hate feeling stupid. I hate it when the room looks at me like I'm stupid. I hate saying something that is stupid because I talk a lot. So listen, guys, 40% of the time it's a lot of stupid. And that's triggering for me. I don't like a room to look at me like I'm stupid. And so what do? I go into astrology where a huge percent of the population thinks astrology is stupid. Can you believe it? I can't. Fuck those guys. Anyway, and look at me doing my work. You hear that? Fuck those guys. That is me doing the work. That's me saying that, if I'm posting things, if I'm putting myself out in the universe, a big percentage is going to think I'm stupid. Does that trigger me? Yes. Am I actively working on it because I am having to face it? I'm having to look at my face and hear my voice and hear what I'm saying and put myself up for slaughter, for judgment, for, whatever. Yes, I'm putting myself in that position because I want to up level, because I don't want to be as simple as I don't want people to think I'm stupid. So I'm going to avoid the spotlight or avoid saying something or avoid giving you this super dope astrological information. No, I'm not going to let that very core fear inside of me dictate what I deliver to the world, because That limiting belief will limit me absolutely if I think that that's the truth. The thing that limits you is not the trigger, and I would invite everybody, because it's such good healing medicine, to think back to the last 3 fights you had and what did they have in common. And that's how you figure out what your trigger point is that the thing that started the fight or the emotion that lingered after the fight is the beginning of understanding that trigger that will always trigger you. And it's not about taking away the trigger. It's not about saying, I'm going to heal this trigger, because we're all triggered humans. We're all traumatized, just walking around in our flesh sacks. So it's not really about what those self-help books say. There's like 5 steps to freedom. It's such bullcrap. You are your own cage master, and you have the key and you have the door. It's all here, guys. Like, plot twist, you are the problem. That's what it is all the time. And, I love the notion of existentialism because its foundation is very cool. What men did with it, and Jean-Paul Sartre and all of those idiots that made it something awful, is what makes existentialism stupid. But the notion around existentialism is that whatever is happening in your world is you. You are creating it, and you are fueling it, and you are facilitating it. And now narcissists, my cats are fighting. Narcissists would take this information and make it all about them, because everything that's happening has to do with them. No, that's not the vibe, guys. That's not what we're trying to say. I am not an existentialist. That's not what the vibe was trying to say. What I think the vibe was we are incredibly energetic people, that when we are having a bad day, we create the bad day. That when we are having a joyful day, we create the joyful music in which to move to. And when you're having a pretty day, when you feel sassy and your hair is curling just so, and you are like, yes, then you are more attractive. Does your face look different than it did yesterday? Probably not, actually, guys. There is no different makeup or different hairstyle that's going to make you look like an entirely different person. It's your vibe. It is your vibe. So imagine, guys, if you could control this vibe. Not control it. I don't like that word. I'm not a big fan of control. Imagine if you could maneuver this vibe. You could meld it. You could clay mold it into a structure that could benefit and create more good, that could do something that could change everything, because you could manage your vibe. You could manage it. You could wield it like the witches did, okay? Anybody that says that witches are scary, don't want to look in a mirror, because what witchiness is founded on, in my estimation, is energy, is how you are wielding the energy around you. And if you don't feel hot today, well, you find a different vibe. You catch a different drift, and you go out with confidence and chin up, because the chin down is what creates that double chin situation that none of us like. Anyway, chin up, young person, is what I'm trying to say, because you always have control. You are Jesus. You take the wheel, guys. Okay? Because if you aren't taking control, then you are victimizing yourself before your day has even started. So I really want this week, because I kind of digressed, but this week is here for this. It's here to more gently and compassionately see your ancestral wounding, your core wounds, your triggers, why you are holding yourself up, and it is a gentle handhold into the next. It is take my hand, friends, and take a step forward. I know that it's scary when you can't see the path ahead, or I know it's scary when it feels dark inside, and when things hurt, and when things have hurt, and when life has been hurting, but it is only in those bold steps forward, righteously compassionate of where we've been, that we can finally get to where we want to go. And so the moon starts out too this week in Pisces. It's so spiritual. It's so vibey. It's so wanting you to relax, to settle in, to let go, to surrender, to the chill. Okay? Then midweek, it's going to move into Aries, which is fiery, which is self-oriented, which is let's do the damn thing. And I love that. And then towards the end of the week, we get a Taurus vibe where it's like, and then we just want to settle. We want to rebuild foundations. We want to feel settled. We want to eat good food. We want to kiss. We want to touch. We want the tactile availability of one another. And then we end over the weekend in Gemini, where our thoughts are all over the place because we're integrating all of this big astrology this week that was really moving us to do all of the crap that I just described. And I know that this digression felt big, but that's because right now the energy is big, okay? There is so much out there for you to take a big bite of. You just got to be hungry. And I think we're all on like appetite suppressants right now. We're all Ozempic-ing a little too much. It's time to nourish. It's time to fill up. It's time to not go on the diet, but rather let the diet go to us. Like we are only going to crunch on what is truly nourishing and what is truly right and good for us. And when we start doing that, look at what card I pulled, guys. New life. There is a new life waiting for you. It's waiting for you. And we've been so stuck, and it's not your fault. And it's not my fault. It's the astrology's fault. It's life's fault, it's almost like we backed ourselves into this checkmate that we didn't know how to get out of. And it's not until we lay that king down and start a new game that we have new moves to make. So what new game do you want to start this week? It is not reaping the benefits week. It is a more, cutting away the dead that is no longer here for us, trimming back the fat, getting rid of the things that no longer serve us, and then coming into this world like the Fool card, the zero, coming in fresh, clean, new, without any preconceived notions about what it needs to be. Because when you need someone or something to be a certain way, then you're limiting it. Then you're giving it structure that maybe it doesn't want. It is only when now we can go in and say anything is possible. What if that's true? What if your new life looks so beautiful, so goddamn gorgeous that all you have to do is stop? All you have to do is stop making it something it never wanted to be. Let go of the things and people that are walking away from you. Bye, Felicia. Bye, bitch. Like, go. I don't need you because I am ready to see what is moving towards me, not away from me. And that's the week, you guys. Whoa, it's a big week. It's a great week. I talked about a lot of big notions because when we have such lovely astrology supporting us, I want us to go big. I want us to do the big work because the big work is saying yes, 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 yes. You just have to believe it. You just have to see it. I can't make you. I can't force your hand, but I can gently hold it and say, I got you. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Let's make me big. How about that? That's my dream. And so it is a very vulnerable thing to then ask others to help support and hold up this dream. But this is how we used to be, communally supportive and mutually beneficial, because the bigger I get, the bigger the dreams get, the more manifesting gets done all together, not just me, you too. We're all in this together. And to see it as a solo journey for you, for me, never gets us anywhere. So let's do it together. And I'll see you next week.